I'm Sean with AGI, and today we're going to take a look at Yamaha's TF series of consoles. Yamaha makes a TF1, a TF3, and a TF5 with different numbers of faders, different inputs and outputs, but they're all based on their TouchFlow workflow, which centers around their new touchscreen. So let's dive in and take a look at the front of the console here. First, on this side, you'll see that you get two controls for your stereo inputs. So you have control over their levels and all of the adjustments that you would need there. You also have your input for that, so that's awesome. Next, you have your touchscreen here. You have your buttons to control that and your user-defined knobs. So you get to map those to anything that you want to control inside the console. Any parameter that you would use to turn up or down, you can do with those. Over here, you have your user-defined keys, which are just like user-defined knobs, but that would be like to change a scene or to tap your tempo or to do different commands through those. You can mute all your inputs at the same time. You can mute your effects at the same time. And then under that here, you have your controls for your effects and the effect return. So you have your level there. You can turn them on and off, and you get monitoring. You can cue those up and listen to those. And if you hit the edit button, that brings that right up onto the screen there, so you get real quick command of your effects that way. You also have stereo meters here. You can clear your cue there. You get your headphone jack for monitoring and the level there. Here's where you switch your fader banks. So you have input 1, your second set of faders. You have your output there. But my favorite is when you click the front two and you go to group. What that does is that puts your DCAs on the right-hand side of the console, and then it gives you a spill out on the left-hand side of the console of all the faders that are in that group. So if I select my drum group, all of those drums now are here. So I can come in and make minor adjustments here, and then kind of mix this like you did on the Central Logic consoles, where you just had your 8 DCAs, and you can make larger adjustments here of your overall mix. And that's a really fast way of operating. So I can just select any DCA here, adjust those on the spill out, and then come in here. And I think this is where I'm going to live when I mix on this console. I really love that. And then you have your custom group here, where you can pick any channels that you want to live here, and they'll always be here when you go to this group. So if there's faders that you don't really touch very often, that you don't need to see, you don't have to put those here. You can have the ones that are really important to you, like your speakers and the people that are coming up and down that are very important. They'll always be in the same place all the time. With the TF consoles, you get a great looking Scribble strip. It's very bright, it's very easy to read. You get the color coding to go along with the colors in the Monitor Mix app, so you can stay on the same page as your musicians and your performers. And you also get feedback as to what your compressor and your gate are doing. So you can see if it's active, if it's opening or closed, and you can do that all without having to select that channel and go to the compressor to see what it's doing. You can see visually right here, is that compressor hitting yet or not? And you can just grab your one knob touch and turn and just turn that up until it starts sounding the way you want it. And then you can watch that and refer to that on the Scribble strip. So that's a really powerful tool. And with the Scribble strip, you have no more tape on your console. It's going to really clean it up, and you don't have to tear the tape on, tear the tape off, and tear the little tape to replace just the two little channels that have moved. Anytime you make a change or an adjustment, rename anything or change the color, it shows up instantly, immediately on your Scribble strip. And then you have your touch and turn knob here, which is where you're going to do the majority of your work on this console. You're going to touch a parameter and then turn this knob to control that, and it clicks to alter the parameter, and there's a shift button there too for getting in and diving in. So let's do just that and take a look at a channel strip here. On the screen you can see all of your channels. You just swipe. You can come up here to the top and change your scenes, store your scenes, edit your scenes. Over here you have your input-output title list for your stereo. If you have something plugged in to the stereo input, it'll read that and see that there. This is your monitoring, so you can change up your cue modes, where you're monitoring from, and you have an oscillator there, so you can send that out any of your sends out of any of your auxes or your stereo if you're trying to calibrate your system. And then you also have things that you're used to seeing on your consoles where you can change the setup of the slot in the back, your outputs, and your network for adjusting all those sorts of things. So let's dive in and take a look at a channel strip and what that looks like with the new TouchFlow. So the first thing that you'll see here is we'll click on our snare channel, and you can see the input here. Here in the input section, you'll see the gain finder. And what this is a very simple way to set your gain. So you just touch your gain there, and you turn the knob, and as you turn it up, it'll begin to light green, and you can see there, very quickly you get really great feedback for when the console is seeing enough level from that instrument or from that vocalist. You know that you're getting the right amount of gain there that the console needs to see. So that's a great way for your new engineers, people that are just learning sound that may be confused a little bit about gain structure. That will be very easy for them to learn. Under that, you're going to have your EQ, which you can just come in here and grab and then touch and turn. You can pinch to alter your Q. And then you can get your EQ set and then touch the one knob. And then the one knob, what that will do is that will take your EQ setting that you've already put in there, and that'll turn it up or down intelligently, adjusting the levels and the Q. So you can get something set the way that you like it, and then turn that up or down very quickly, very easily, so that's going to be really fast. You can also go and have your gate. So the gate is really simple. You just turn it on, touch and turn. Get your parameters set. And then you have your compressor, which also has a one knob function. Select the one knob mode, turn that, and then you just grab your touch and turn knob. And what that's going to do is it's going to get you most of the way there, and it's going to get you close. And as you learn and as you gain more expertise, you can come in here, turn the one knob off, and then you have more control. You have full control over all the different adjustments, so you can really get in there and fine-tune your sound. Under your compressor, you have two slots for effects. So you have your effect 1 and effect 2, and you can come in here and pick any of these effects, delays, choruses, reverbs. We'll pick that one. And again, it's as simple as touching and turning. And these effects sound great. There's a lot of them to pick from. And they're really easy to control right up here with your master returns up here. Underneath your effects, you have a send to aux. So this is very familiar for people who have run analog consoles where you have all of your auxes for that channel lined up on every channel strip. So that's what this is here. So on my snare channel, these are all the sends related to that channel. So I can come through here and make adjustments. On my stereo ones, I can make a pan adjustment very quickly and easily. Underneath that, we have our assigning. So I can assign this to a DCA very quickly. I'll go ahead and throw this one in my drum DCA. And then you can recall safe things, like if you have a speakers mic that you want to not be recalled when you change scenes, you can do that there. And then you can assign it to the mono or the stereo bus. And then finally, at the bottom here, you have the channel view, which is a great place to live if you have a channel that you're working on. Because what you can do here is I can select the EQ, and from this, just turn it up or turn it down, and that one knob is going to manage that for me. I can do the same thing with the compressor, and I can come in here and turn that up or down, and that will work for me as well. From here, I can change the name, change the icon, change the color, which looks great on the Scribble strip, and that will also update if you're using the Yamaha's Monitor app for your musicians, or you're using their Stage Mix app. That will update all of that with the icon, the color, and the name, so everybody can stay organized and stay on task with that. So the real power from the TF consoles comes with their presets. Yamaha has gotten together and collaborated with engineers from Sennheiser, Shure, and Audio-Technica, and worked with them to create presets for your channels depending on their microphones and specific instruments. So if you're using a particular microphone on a particular drum, there's a preset in there for that you can just go in, recall that preset, and it's exactly what the Shure engineers think an SM57 should sound like on a snare drum. So let's take a look at that and see how that works. I'm going to go to my snare channel here and select that. I'm going to hit the recall button here, and you'll see a full library for vocals, guitars, keys, strings, all sorts of instruments. So this is my snare drum, so I'm going to click drums here, and I'm going to go down because I know that this instrument was recorded with an SM57. So let's find the snare SM57 preset. There we go. So there's a Shure SM57. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to recall the channel, and that's going to just recall the parameters. So the EQ parameters, the compression parameters, and all of those. So let's get out of here and see what that did to my channel. So my gain is exactly where I left it. So I'll set that. Then my EQ is set, and it's set to one knob. So this is the EQ that Shure engineers say you should put on a snare drum with a SM57. So I can come in here and adjust that. And then they have a compression setting. And I can come in here and still have control over that. It doesn't lock me out, but it gets me started, and it gives me a platform to start from and gets me moving faster. So you can apply that to each instrument and each vocalist in your setup and gets you going really, really fast and gives you kind of that point to jump off of. All of Yamaha's apps work with the TF consoles. So if you're using Stage Mix so that you can walk around and mix your monitors with your performers on stage, that works with this. You use that to walk around the house and actually mix from where your audience sits. That works with this console. If you want to use the Monitor Mix app, where you give that to your musicians and your performers, and they mix their own mix inside the console, that works with this console. This has a great touchscreen on it. The mic pre's sound great, and you're getting this touchscreen that is better than any other console in this price range. Some of them have a touchscreen, but they don't have moving faders. Some of them have moving faders, but they have a little itty-bitty, teeny-tiny, horrible screen. And with the TF consoles, you get everything all in one package. So that's my quick overview of Yamaha's TF series of consoles. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can leave those down below. And if you have any more questions or you'd like information about this console, you can get my phone number or my email in the description under the video. And if you're specifically interested in purchasing a TF3, it just happens that we have an open box model that we can sell you at a discount. So we open these up, give you a real quick overview of them, and then they go right back in the box. So you get everything that comes with it, all the cables and all the goodies, and we'll give you a really great discount on that. So give me a call or an email. Again, I'm Sean with AGI. Thanks for watching.